The decade though, that decade though. So 2019 has been a year. It's been a good year, I think. It's not that bad. I know people like to have a whinge this time of year about how bad the previous 12 months have been, but I don't think it's been that bad. I was about to say we're not on fire, but we're literally on fire. Could definitely have been worse. The decade though, that decade though, there's been a lot of good and a lot of bad. A lot of cooked things happening and a lot of, what rhymes with cooked? Looked, stooked, juked, are these even words? Whatever, we're about to go through a bunch of things that happened this decade as told by people who replied to this post on the community tab of the community tab of this channel. You know what? 2019 sucked. I made a decade summary on TikTok. What is happening? I made like a decade roundup video on my TikTok, and you heard that correctly. I do have a TikTok. She has a TikTok. You really needed to be here for my last video if you didn't know about that one. That'll be linked below along with my Instagram, which you should definitely also be following. And also my clothing brand, which is where you can get these sick sunnies. And also a bunch of other things to clothe your naked body. We're not out here trying to get public indecency fines. Let's start this video off with the literal end of the world. This event was more hyped up than Coachella, probably by the same brand of human being. And yet where was the follow through? I'm still here, bitch. Disappointing, 0 stars on TripAdvisor, would not recommend. I can't believe that some lazy ancient bastard just didn't feel like finishing a calendar, and we all took that collectively as a green light to conclude that the world was ending. If it did, with that grade of stupidity, honestly, we would deserve it. Fyre Festival. One of the many things on this list that make me wish that the Mayan calendar did actually end the world. Fyre Festival was the most effective microcosm for the disease that is rich people with FOMO that I have ever seen in my 24 years on this planet. It's the age-old question, how do you get a bunch of rich people to maroon themselves on an island, start up a Lord of the Flies type society, and then broadcast it for free for the rest of us commoners? You tell them that one of the Jenners and a bunch of models will be there. That's it. Amazing. Pokemon Go. Pokemon Go happened and I was absolutely on board when it came out. Let me tell you that there is no force on this planet that can make me go outside in the middle of winter on a cold, rainy, windy night with a bunch of my friends and just go for a walk. But Pokemon Go did that. She did that. Algorithms. I nearly didn't put this one in because they're not so much of a trend, but they are one elusive bitch that runs most of our lives, social spheres and political spheres at this point. Most people walk the earth blissfully unaware of how controlled and influenced they actually are by algorithms. So let's just think about that for 5 minutes before the year ends. Let's just let that sink in. I know my channel is where people come to not think about the perils of the world for 10 or 15 minutes, but sometimes you can tune out thoughtfully as well. The cup song. That was a huge thing. Should we give it a go? Can't see a cup. Rhymes with can't be fucked. No. I assume you remember it permanently. It's like riding a bike, except useless. The fall of MySpace. The rise of Facebook. The fall of Facebook. The rise of Vine. The fall of Vine. The rise of TikTok. You get the picture. Then YouTube has just been in the background doing the worm the whole time. The Harlem Shake. It was like the best thing since sliced bread for a few weeks, and then very quickly, like most trends, it became the worst thing since stepping on Lego. This fucking gorilla, Harambe, my boy, my brethren. If the world could come together more often in the way that it came together for this gorilla, then maybe we'd all be okay on this floating rock in the vast emptiness of space. Harambe contributed more to music, art, and culture than any single person on the top 40s charts currently. Do not at me. Fight me and my noodle arms about Harambe. Oh, this stupid ass dress. This stupid dumbass dress.
It's the dress that has divided opinion online.
I saw blue and black the first time I looked at it. The second time I looked at it, I saw yellow and gold. And then every time after that, it would flick between the two like the world's worst strobe light. Right now it's gold and white, and I'm having flashbacks from when this was all that was over the news and media and internet and mailbox marketing collateral. Fucking avocado toast. Avocado toast, aka smashed avo, aka the reason I can't buy a house.
When I was trying to buy my first home, I wasn't buying. Smashed avocados for 19 bucks.
Another thing that has contributed more to public discourse than any current politician. There are few things more ironic than a literal millionaire who benefited from a good housing economy telling millennials living in one of the worst economies for housing prices and stagnant wage growth that avocados are the reason they can't afford a house. Just don't don't think that's I don't know, it's just me. I don't think that's the case. I would have to have bought nearly 12,000 smashed avos to pay for an average price house in Australia. Even if I was buying one smashed avo a day and I stopped that imaginary habit, it would still take me 32 years to buy a house. But we're not. We're all eating $1 ramen and making up for the copious amounts of tax that big corporations don't pay in this country. Am I gonna go on that tangent right now? She is. 91 of America's biggest corporations paid $0 in tax in 2018 thanks to Trump's new laws. News Corp, which I think is Australia's biggest newspaper media company, made $2.9 billion in a year and paid $0 tax. Adani paid $0 tax on this figure of income, which I don't have the time or energy to read out. Adani has also given billions of litres of free water that our government won't give to farmers or the citizens of this country who pay for it. I don't know, weird. All of these millionaires and billionaires and corporations are given so many government handouts, but they'll never call it that. In other words, all of these people and companies are sucking billions of dollars out of a society that gives them infrastructure for free most of the time. In other words, all of these people and companies are sucking billions and billions of dollars out of a society that gives them infrastructure and an endless amount of handouts and puts absolutely no value back into that society, except for pollution and ghost towns, dwindling water supplies, a financial deficit, maybe an ice epidemic or two. Thank you, mining boom. But that smashed avo is the real problem. Moving right along. Twerking. I still don't get it. Hipster beards, also known as basic personal grooming. Tiny houses. Need I refer back to the smashed avo debacle? If you can't afford a home, just live in a glorified tent and make it fashion. I understand there's a plethora of reasons people live in tiny houses, but the housing crisis isn't not one of those reasons. Planking was a thing? Was that this decade or was that, how old am I? Have I been alive since the dawn of the Neolithic era? Probably. Hoverboards may be the best thing to come out of this decade solely because of the endless amounts of videos of people absolutely eating it on hoverboards. Nearly lost the laptop about 3 different times, but that's fine. We like to live life on the edge. Oh, honey. Oh. That's a broken tailbone if I've ever seen one. He didn't hold his horses. What else was gonna happen, dude? Just seeing the baubles come down and then the whole friggin' tree. Oh no. What's the bet his students made him do this? Oh. No. Crap. I just feel like maybe a hoverboard in heels wasn't the best idea. God, Coney 2012. Who remembers that? What even was that? The ice bucket challenge? Iconic. Could use an ice bucket on my face right about now. Thank you, Far North Queensland Heat. I have the fan on, but if I were to put the aircon on, you wouldn't be able to hear anything, so you're welcome. Donald Trump. We can't laugh about that one until it's over. For now, it's just sad. God, minions. Can we please just... If we're gonna leave one thing in this decade, can it please, for the love of God, be Minions? Who remembers when everyone randomly started dressing up as clowns and just terrorizing the general public for no reason? Why on earth did that happen?
A frankly bizarre problem we've been telling you about, these clown sightings.
Did a bunch of dudes just crawl out of their parents' basement and decide to make the world's worst collaborative scary movie? But what was that? Please explain.
Please explain.
Fidget spinners. And that's about all I can cop for one video. If you like this video, make sure you subscribe. I give shout out to every single video to people who subscribe and put the bell on. Were they words? Was that English? Could have been. I also give shout outs to people who follow me on Instagram. Insta shout outs go to Hannah Arnold, KateRocks13, Carl Dilly 116, Bria Marshall, and Danny Charlie 31. Thank you guys for commenting on my last photo. YouTube shout outs go to Thomas A, Lovely Chan, I can't read. I'm Jared, I'm 19 and I don't know how to read. Sean Kelly 91, Alicia Handebo, Vegan Gangster. There's 2 words that rarely go together. Koalas are not bears. Chris Searle, Mia Woodward, and Olivia Phillips. Thank you guys for subscribing and commenting, etc. I hope you've had a great 2019. Thank you to all of you who have supported this channel, my clothing brand, followed any of my social media, commented, just stuck around and watched my videos. Whatever it is that you've done, I'm incredibly grateful for. Have a great new year. I will see you in a few days, really, but next year.